Hey, it's Dan Morales, America's Mortgage Man. This is Homebuyer Radio, episode number 153. So you'll notice that, in the past, historically, we've done an episode about once a week, and I tried really hard to kind of stay on that schedule of doing one about once a week and just keeping fresh content and keeping folks, abreast, if you will, of what's going on with the mortgage market and just, kind of real estate in general. Over the course of the last probably couple months, it's been a little bit harder to keep up with that once a week podcast just because we've gotten crazy busy with interest rates going down as low as what they've been. We've had a lot of clients that have come back to refinance a mortgage, which has certainly been a great thing for us and a great thing for them, but it has taken up a little more time than what normally I would have spent on kind of the day-to-day stuff that I do. Okay, so that creates a challenge of just kind of keeping up with making the content for this podcast. But I think it's important that we continue to do the podcast and that we continue to provide relevant information in regards to the worlds of worlds of real estate and mortgages, if you will. Okay, so this week, what I want to talk about is how much house can you afford. The amount of house you can afford is really driven by monthly payment, okay? And I have this conversation with people all the time. As we have this, we talk about, everybody always wants to know, what's, the maximum purchase price I can look at and so on. You don't really qualify for a maximum purchase price as much as you qualify for a maximum monthly payment, okay? Now, the amount of a house that monthly payment can buy you is going to depend on a few different factors, okay? One of them is going to be, what are the property taxes? What is, the homeowner's insurance cost going to be for that property? What would any potential mortgage insurance cost be? What are interest rates and how much do you have to put down? Okay, so if somebody can qualify for, let's just say, a monthly payment of $1,500, that $1,500 may be enough to buy X dollars of a house in one area of town in a different dollar amount in a different area of town. And the reason for that can be a couple different things. Differences in property taxes, difference in, if you will, homeowner's insurance. Those things can factor in, to make that payment look a little more expensive on one part of town versus another, if you will, okay? Where I live, if you buy a property within the city limits, you're generally going to pay a higher property tax rate than if you bought a property that's, let's say, in one of the townships, okay? That can impact the amount of house that you can buy depending on what those differences are. So you really qualify for a certain monthly payment. Again, that monthly payment's going to take you so far at a certain, price point, if you will, in a certain part of town, and it may not take you quite as far at a different price point in a different part of town. So it's one of those things that you really want to make sure you understand what that dollar amount is you qualify for. Now, that dollar amount you qualify for may be something that is completely different than what you are comfortable spending on a per month basis, okay? So, we have times where we can qualify folks for, let's just say, a $2,000 a month payment. But when they look at their budget, they say, gosh, I'm not really comfortable spending more than $1,200 a month. Not a problem. We can kind of go back and say, okay, at $1,200, here's kind of a rough estimate of property taxes and homeowner's insurance based in the area in which you're looking, and here's kind of what that would look like. Now, if somebody can qualify for, $2,000, if they found the ideal house, and that ideal house was a little bit more than what, let's say, that, $1,200 a month payment scenario looked like, we know that they're going to qualify for it. It's just they're going to have to be willing to be a little more flexible in the monthly payment that they're looking at, right? And that's one of the challenges that, sometimes people have as they go through this process of looking at homes is, being realistic in what your expectations are, for what you can get in a monthly payment based on your down payment and so on. But you just want to have realistic expectations because otherwise, you kind of go into this, and if you expect to get $1 million house, with no down payment and have a monthly payment equal to what you're paying in rent per month, maybe your expectations are unrealistic and there's something that just isn't going to come to pass, right? Then you're setting yourself up for disappointment, as part of this process. So one of the things I always suggest is I suggest to folks that, it all starts with money, right? You're not going to buy a house without having money to buy a house, and that money is either in the form of cash, which very few buyers have, or in the form of a combination of, let's say, a small down payment and a mortgage, right? Well, that means you need to start the process with your mortgage loan officer, such as me. That's what I do, is I write loans for a living. I've done this for 29 years, know what we're doing, work with a ton of clients. A lot of clients are first-time home buyers, to kind of really understand this process, understand what you're qualified for. What does that mean as far as an approximate price range and monthly payment? And, sometimes there's different loan scenarios and structures that you can play with that will get you a little bit more favorable outcome when it's all said and done. Just recently had, and I think I shared this in one of the recent podcasts we talked about, just recently had a client who was told, they couldn't qualify for more than, I think it was $120,000. Whether they used an FHA loan or a conventional loan. And, finally that client got over to us, from their realtor, and we were able to get them approved for up to $150,000 house versus $120,000. And that's where that knowledge and expertise of your lender and or your realtor too, right? Because your realtor, if they're good, they know who the good lenders are to work with. They get their clients to the good lenders who can actually help get, their client finance under the outcome or under the terms that they're looking for. So really important that you're working with good people who know what they're doing, because those good people can oftentimes come up with a solution that is going to be more favorable than what you would have gotten had you not worked with that good person, right? So a good person for mortgages, that's me. Dan Morales, America's Mortgage Man. My NMLS number is 709729. You can find me online at danmorales.com. That's DANMORALEZ.com. Or you can call me at 616-931-4629. But, before you get too far into this home buying process, really important that you get connected with us to get pre-approved. We're really going to help you figure out how much house do you really qualify for? Because any way you slice it, guys, it all comes down to that monthly payment and, what's included in that monthly payment, right? When you qualify, you got to count taxes, insurance, your mortgage insurance, anything that is related to, if you will, owning that house, if you have homeowners association dues, or stuff like that. All of those things are kind of factored in. Things that are not factored into that kind of monthly payment that you qualify for would be stuff like, let's just say, cable, electric, gas, garbage, those kinds of things, okay? So really important that you get connected with us. We'll go through, we'll figure out kind of what that maximum monthly payment is that you qualify for. If that maximum monthly payment is significantly more than what you'd like to spend on a per month basis, we'll work backwards based on what you're comfortable spending on a per month basis. That way we can make sure that the amount of house that you qualify for is, or I should say the amount of house you're looking at, is consistent with what would be comfortable for your budget, okay? Again, Dan Morales, America's Mortgage Man. If you have questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to me. Thanks for listening to the podcast. Do me a favor, share it with friends and family. And if you're on Facebook or Instagram, you can find me on Instagram. I'm Dan the Mortgage Man. And then on Facebook, you should be able to find my business page by searching Dan Morales, North Point Bank. So look forward to working with you. And of course, North Point Bank is an equal housing lender. Have a great day.